So moving on, we're coming to our UV 21st century way of disinfecting water. Now what UV does, ultraviolet light, it basically stops the bacteria from replicating. It breaks down the membrane of the cell, and that in turn basically stops it from, as I said, duplicating in your system. So you don't get that nauseous sickness which you can get with the Giardia, fever, however you care to call it. The problem being is that to get a proper treatment for the ultraviolet light, you have to make sure the water is as clear as possible. If there's any particles suspended in that water, what can happen, there could be one of those bugs hiding behind a piece of that particle dirt, and it's like being in the shade. You don't get exposed to the sun, in this case the sun being the ultraviolet, then you don't stop it from reproducing, don't break down that membrane nucleus of it. So you also have to be aware of that it takes so many microwatts of power for disinfection of water. This unit uses a lot of battery power. All you can do at this point is take your sample of water in your canister. You'll notice that there's a rubber bung around here with the two little electrodes which make contact on that side. You just simply insert it in and you press the start button. On this one you push once for 1 litre and twice for half a litre. So this happens to be a 1 litre container, so I'm going to press it twice. And you see the green light flashing just here. I don't know if you can see that too clearly. Yep, that means it's disinfecting. And all I'm going to do is wait for that to stop. So it normally takes on average about a minute for that to happen. And while that's going on, we're just going to actually have a chat about disinfection tablets. Now disinfection tablets, iodine or chlorine. Iodine, one of the biggest things you've got to be aware of is that if people have an allergy to shellfish, seafood, they shouldn't be using any product which has iodine in it. So if you give someone a bottle of water which has been purified by iodine tablet, you could end up by putting them into anaphylactic shock or make them very ill because they're allergic to seafood. It doesn't happen to a lot of people, but it happens to enough, and if you're in a wilderness setting, that's something to be aware of. Chlorine-based tablets are very good, but they're very corrosive on your equipment. And a lot of people still use the old aluminium or aluminum kind of camping gear. And if you put one of those chlorine tablets into an aluminum container or anything which is non-stainless or plastic, you're going to get corrosion problems. The problem with chlorine as well is that if you don't follow the instructions directly, you're going to have a very chlorine-y taste kind of water. And if anyone's ever drank water from the swimming pool accidentally, I'm sure you haven't done it on purpose, but if you do, you know what it tastes like. It's not the best. And again, long term, if you really want to have chlorine in your system, if you're pushing it and not feeling too good, iodine tablets are, out of the 2 tablet disinfection systems, my personal choice. Again, that's a last resort. I carry those in my survival tin all the time. And yes, it has helped me out a few times. Now I do have, actually this is now finished, so I'll come back to that in a minute. I do have in my pack iodine powder. Now, this is good for a number of things, not just only water disinfection. But I'll come to that in a few minutes. For now, let's just go back to the UV water disinfection system. As you see, it's done its cycle. No wait time. You expose it for the duration while it's flashing, and it's done. So again, good water. The downside is battery powered. Glass and the contacts. If they don't make contact, sometimes adding a little bit of salt to the water can help out make the contacts, but quite often I've had to bridge this with a paper clip or a piece of foil just so it works on that side. Again, good unit, 21st century style, but it needs batteries. So 1 week into a trip, when the batteries go flat, how do you treat your water? And you've no idea when the battery's about to go. Made by Steri, another non-Chinese company, and the quality is very good. Ideal for weekend campers, weekend warriors, that kind of stuff. Not my first choice. So next we'll go to iodine. I'll show you the difference on that one.